So today, yeah, we're diving straight into Claressa Shields. We're talking Papoose, and of course, we're talking Remy Ma, because let's be real, everything Remy Ma has put out so far, it's lining up a little too perfectly. But here's where it gets interesting. Fans of Claressa were quick to label Remy as bitter, saying she was just mad that Papoose moved on. Sounds convenient, right? Meanwhile, and you won't believe this, through all of this chaos, those two are still legally married. And to this day, I haven't seen a single trace of any official divorce filing. Let me explain why that matters. Normally, when a couple splits, those records exist somewhere. You just need the state and county to track them down. It's public information. Even if the details are sealed, you can still spot an active case on the docket. See scheduled hearings, timelines, everything. If kids are involved, there's documentation, parenting classes, custody steps, all of it. And eventually, it all leads to one thing, the final divorce decree, the moment that legally closes the chapter. But here, that moment doesn't seem to exist. Now here's where things take a turn. Ever since this Kardashian situation started gaining attention, something feels off. We even touched on this before. Claressa went live on TikTok promoting her brother, but also saying, "Focus on me, stop asking about Papoose." I'm not gonna lie, that raised eyebrows. Because why now? Why suddenly shift the spotlight away from Papoose when this entire narrative was something she helped build? This was her rollout. She seemed like she was chasing that same black love spotlight Remy and Papoose had, thinking it would elevate her brand. But instead, that shine faded fast. So now we're years into this, still no divorce, nobody's legally single, and on top of that there are whispers, allegations about other women in the mix, names like Kardashian, who's reportedly been around since at least 2021. You see where this is going, right? And now, suddenly, Claressa wants to switch lanes. Now she wants the conversation to be strictly about boxing. But now we've got to rewind for a second, back to May of last year, right after that Africa trip, right after all that messy back and forth where Papoose and Remy Ma were going off on each other online. And here's the part people keep overlooking. Behind the scenes, the communication never really stopped. Texts still being sent, and allegedly, yeah, you won't believe this, Papoose was still covered under Remy Ma's health insurance. That's exactly why I've been saying from day one, Claressa Shields has been way too loud and proud about what looks like an ongoing situation with a married man.
And in her mind, it's like everyone else is just jealous, like they wish they had what she has, a man who's still legally tied to someone else. But let's be honest, that access looks real limited. Because from what we've seen, he's still keeping his distance and only showing up when it suits him. And I've said this before, and I'll say it again. As long as Papoose is legally married to Remy Ma, she's the one calling the shots. That's not opinion, that's paperwork. Think about it for a second. If something were to happen to Papoose, and no, this isn't wishing anything bad, but if he ended up in a hospital, injured, or dealing with something serious, guess who's in control? He's still under Remy Ma's insurance. She's listed as the emergency contact. She's legally the next of kin. And if things ever got worse, she's the one making every decision. Claressa Shields, despite all the noise online, has zero legal standing in that situation. So you're putting all this energy out there publicly, but Papoose isn't even matching it. And when the narrative starts to flip and things don't go your way, now it's podcast runs, now it's damage control. But then, boom, other names start popping back up, like Morte resurfacing out of nowhere. So yeah, let's really get into this. And shout out to Live Bites for catching this clip from Remy's live. I'm pretty sure this was around May 2025, right after that heated exchange between her and Papoose. Go ahead and scroll back to when you were in Africa, when people were talking about those shots. Should I pull it up? Let me pull it up. Don't play with me. Now, what Remy Ma's referencing here is a tweet from Claressa Shields, where she was basically saying she missed Papoose and wished she could have been out there in Africa with him. But here's the twist. The reason she gave for not going was that she didn't have the required shots. And according to Remy, that story doesn't hold up. Let's keep going.
Play with me. And there was no shots to go to Africa. It was pills. How do I know? Because there was no shot. Play with me. play with me. And there was no shots to go to Africa. It was pills. How do I know? Because the text came to my phone because he's still on my health insurance. He just didn't want you to go.
Now, hold on. What pills is Remy Ma even talking about here, allegedly? I'm genuinely curious. What do you think she meant by that? Because that little detail right there feels like it's hiding a bigger story. But regardless, the key takeaway is right in front of us. Remy Ma straight up said that as of last year, as of 2025, Papoose was still on her health insurance. And that lines up with everything people have been suspecting. And on top of that, it also confirms something else. Papoose didn't even want Claressa to make that Africa trip. But here's the contradiction. Claressa jumps online acting like she's in full control of this whole situation with a married man, like she's calling the shots. And honestly, that's not what the reality is showing. Because when you really break it down, there's no control there at all. And maybe that's exactly why things keep getting so loud and messy online, because it's starting to look like a fight to hold on to a position that was never fully secured in the first place. Think about it. How do you go from being positioned as the main one to suddenly looking like you're last in line, especially when names like Khadijah are allegedly getting access, getting the green light, while you're being left behind? That's the part that doesn't add up. And this is the same situation where you're supposedly the $8 million investment, yet you're not even being included the way people would expect. Yeah, something's off. Anyway, let's keep going.
Oh, so he could sit over there and call me every day about how being here just makes me think about everything. Don't play with me. Don't play with me. Yesterday, I was laid up yesterday. Was I not laid up? Were we not laid up? Oh. What?
Oh, so that part was pretty clear. That's Easy the block captain right there in the background as of May last year. Now, fast forward to 2026, I'm not about to sit here and act like I know whether Remy Ma and Easy the block captain are still a thing or not. There's been a lot of chatter, a lot of rumors floating around, but nothing solid that actually confirms what's going on in Remy Ma's personal life. And if we're being real, some of that noise feels intentional. Because let's not ignore this, there are people out there who simply don't rock with Remy Ma, and when that's the case, narratives start getting created, stories get exaggerated, accusations get thrown around, just like she hinted at in Why You Been Lying, where she called out people trying to play on her name. And what's the goal behind all that? To paint her a certain way, to make it seem like she's involved with everybody, just to make Papoose and Claressa's situation look more acceptable. But here's the thing, that strategy isn't really holding up. Because no matter how many rumors get pushed, it doesn't erase the facts we've already seen. And that's why this whole narrative keeps falling apart the moment you look a little closer. So yeah, let's keep it moving.
Ew. I don't even like the cologne you wear. It's gross. Ew. Come on. And you got me blocked. Emotional. Weirdo. I'm really saying are you a girl? You a girl. Look at him. Emotional. Stop playing with me, sir. Stop playing with me. Matter of fact, let me get the Africa post on cock. Hold up. And the only reason why, if anybody's wondering why is he still on my health insurance, because it's against the law in New Jersey while you're going through a divorce to take them off of your health insurance. So unfortunately, I can't. Let me get those ready.
So you caught that, right? Remy is clearly over Papoose, completely turned off, even down to something as small as his cologne. You can hear it in her tone. You can feel it. She's not interested in going back, not even a little bit. And on top of that, she dropped what I'd call a straight bombshell. She explained that the reason Papoose is still on her health insurance is because during a divorce, you legally can't just remove your spouse mid-process. Now that right there raises a bigger question, because if that rule applies, and she's saying it does, especially in places like New Jersey, then that would mean there's an active divorce happening, right? But here's where things get tricky. If that's the case, where is it? Where are the records, the filings, anything that shows this process is actually moving forward? Because if there's no visible divorce proceedings, then what exactly is going on behind the scenes?
I send it directly to her. I send you the whole video thing that I literally entertained just because I knew this day was gonna come. Weirdo. Hold on. Hold on, we in Africa, right? I ain't go to Sierra Leone. Hold on. Hold up. You call me later. You call me back, call me later. I'm busy. Hold on, sending me videos. Yo, right now it's 1 minute. I can't make this up if I wanted to. Why do I care what degrees is out there? Small talk. Videos of everything that's going on. Yo, how do they balance that? I'm not gonna lie, the molar carts is fire. It's only 92 degrees. I'm assuming it's supposed to rain. This and that's you already know when they give the temperature. Everything was fine. Look at me, you dressing like Brooklyn over there. You better get some kente cloth. I hate traveling with a bunch of stuff. Stop it. You have clothes. Look, I hate traveling with a bunch of stuff and I don't have any clothes anymore. I wear the same things all the time. Stop it. You have clothes. You just don't want to come get them. What are you talking about?
So from my perspective, looking at April leading into May of last year, because that's the timeline all of this is based on, this came from a live Remy did right after that whole The Breakfast Club appearance and Papoose's so-called divorce filing. And let's be honest, a lot of that felt performative. Then Remy goes live again and basically checks Claressa, like, you're not in control over there. You don't even know what's really happening. And suddenly, a lot starts making sense. Because according to Remy, the reason Papoose isn't always right there with Claressa is simple. He's elsewhere, keeping his distance, moving around the same house, but not really present. And the real kicker? He's texting Remy the whole time. Not only that, but allegedly, he didn't even want Claressa to go on that Africa trip. Now pause, because this is the same man who publicly called her the love of his life. So how does the love of your life not even get invited, or according to Remy, not even wanted on that trip? And here's where it gets messy, because allegedly someone else was there, Khadijah, the so-called main on that trip. And we've already seen receipts floating around suggesting she was in Africa with Papoose. Meanwhile, Remy is sitting back saying she knows everything, every move, every person, every secret. She claims she's got receipts on all the side situations, including that strange text where Papoose is like, I'm just in Africa thinking about everything. Thinking about everything while you're out there with one woman, another back in the US, and still texting your wife? So let's break that down. You're overseas with one alleged partner. You've got another back home who doesn't fully understand her position. And then you're blowing up your wife's phone, sending pictures, videos, updates, while she's literally got you saved under a contact name like Boza. That alone tells a story. And even after all of that, when Remy started rolling out her network and moving forward, she still said their co-parenting relationship is stable, but made it clear it's complicated dealing with someone unpredictable. And we've seen glimpses of that dynamic too, like when Papoose showed up to their child's McDonald's-themed birthday party. But here's what's really interesting. People keep pushing this idea that if things lined up, Papoose would run back to Remy. But from everything that's been shown, that's not the holdup. The real holdup looks like Remy not wanting him back at all. Because whether she's seeing someone else or not, her actions are saying she's done. Meanwhile, it's Papoose who seems unable to fully detach, moving between different situations, different women, and still circling back. That whole grass isn't greener reality might be hitting hard. Because while things aren't working with Khadijah, and clearly not smooth with Claressa either, he's still reaching out to his wife. And that's the question nobody's really answering. Why are you texting your wife the entire trip? Especially when, at that time, Remy was already moving on and heavily linked with Easy the Block Captain. And all of this happening right after the public arguments, the back and forth, and all the chaos that played out online. And then the moment it stopped working in your favor, you pop up on Vlad TV this year suddenly saying, oh, I wish her the best. Really? Because that sounds like a complete tone switch. Let's be honest, that's what happens when you realize things went way too far and started backfiring. At some point, it clicked that Remy Ma wasn't about to sit around and tolerate that chaos. So now it's all, let's not say too much about her, right? And that's exactly why Claressa keeps trying to redirect the spotlight back onto herself instead of the situation she stepped into. Because like I've been saying, the wife always knows. The wife always has the real tea. And the wife is never as disconnected as people try to make it seem. You can't ignore the fact that Remy Ma and Papoose have decades of history and a child together. That kind of bond doesn't just disappear overnight. So all this performative energy Claressa is putting out with Papoose, it comes off more confusing than convincing. Because at the end of the day, from everything we can see, they're still legally married. Nobody has come out and confirmed a finalized divorce. If that had happened, trust, it would have been announced by now. Even Claressa herself keeps saying in tweets that they're still going through a divorce, which raises even more questions. Meanwhile, you've got other public figures finalizing divorces in months. It doesn't usually drag on like this without a reason. So what's really going on here? Especially when Remy already made it clear she doesn't want anything from him, and he's not walking away with anything either. That should have made things simple, but clearly it didn't. So yeah, something isn't adding up. And at this point, I want to hear from you. What do you think is actually going on behind the scenes?